All right, you are now connected to the Elements of Inspiration, Brother Marcus podcast. You know, we always bring you the best guests on this side of the globe, whether it's regular people or celebrities or whoever that is doing something impactful and has an interesting story. You know, they're going to be on the Element of Inspiration show. Today, we have none other than Mr. Akeel. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm good. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. You know what? It's an honor to be here. I'm glad you invited me. I'm ready. I'm ready to get the people what they want to hear, some inspiration, some information, man, where however we can help the people.
Inspiration and information. I like that.
Yeah.
By the way, I know we're live doing what we do. If you want something to drink, there's some things right behind you. You can grab something.
I might actually do that.
Yeah. So now, Mr. Akeel, I'll always start the show off the same way. I like to find out a little bit about who you are.
Okay.
Like, where did you grow up? Where were you born? Philly, Jersey, Delaware, Mexico? Where were you born?
Yeah. So I grew up in a small town in New Jersey, down in South Jersey, South. Mm-hmm. It's a small town by the name of Woodbine.
Woodbine.
Yeah, not a lot of people in there, but it's home. You know what I mean? It's where I grew up at. So I spent a lot of time down in Woodbine before I went off. And at the age of about, 20, I joined the military. So I got over about 20 years now. I ain't trying to date myself or put my age out there, but I'm still young.
Wait. Let me ask you this. So you're in the military. What branch of the military?
I'm in the Army.
In the Army?
Yeah, in the Army, but I'm retiring this year.
Wow.
Yeah, after 21 years of service.
Be all you can be.
That was the one.
In the Army.
Yeah, so I did that for a little bit, small change, and now, I'm here. We're going to talk about what I do now, but came from Jersey, stayed in Jersey, lived in Jersey all my life. That's home where I'm from, and so I did that. Went to the military, a lot of experience.
You traveled all over the world.
All over the place.
Now, before we get into what you do and everything what's some of the most interesting places where you've been being in the military?
You know what? I would tell you one time for training, we actually went to Belize.
Belize.
Now, don't get it twisted. You think of Belize, and you might think about the ocean and the beach, and there is that. That's not where I was at. I was not there.
And where was you at?
I was in a place where it was jungle, not beach.
Oh.
Now I did get an opportunity to go visit, the tourist areas, and we did that for like a couple of days, which was fantastic. But where I was stationed and when we was training there, it was nothing like
work.
that. It was about getting busy.
All right.
But I found that to be interesting because there was, there's two sides of every place.
Exactly.
And I saw one, and then I went over and saw how beautiful it was on the other side, and that's where I should have been at, but that's not where
you was doing some work.
Yeah, I was getting it in.
Well, speaking of doing work, you look like you work out, man.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit?
Yeah.
You're trying to be bigger than me.
Well, that started in high school. I played a little football.
Okay, so you played football?
I played football in high
Varsity?
school. I did. Yeah, I played some varsity football in high school, and that's where I really got started working out with my coach. So he really gave that to us when it came to working out. Like that was a big thing.
Yeah.
I just started enjoying it, right? And then so that set me off, and then I just been working out ever since. So
wow.
I try to
so
get
you
in
ain't
there.
no joke.
I could get it in. I could get it in.
I could take out dudes in couples like Mr. T.
But I like the whole family. We like to stay in shape or whatever. So it's just been part of my life.
Oh, okay. So you have brothers and sisters?
My family. I mean, my wife and my children.
Oh,
but
your wife. Okay.
But I do. Yeah, I got brothers and sisters. Yeah,
okay.
I got an older. I'm the oldest.
Okay, you're the okay.
Out of a brother and sister. So when I was younger, I wasn't really into fitness like that. So
until
they didn't grow up like But for them, I got a brother and sister younger. They both younger than me. So that's the fam.
And now you got a family now.
Now I got my own family.
All right.
Yeah, I got
how many boys? How many girls?
I'm married, and I got 2 boys and 2 girls.
Okay.
Wow. So, and that's it.
He said, "That's it."
Yeah.
Don't nobody else be saying that now.
Yeah, I'm good. The wife be trying to ask, and I'm like, nah. I'm trying to live life a little bit when they get out. You know what I'm saying?
I know that's right. Listen, man. We'll talk about that off the air.
Yeah.
But so now that you've gone through a lot of different things, you graduated, you went to school, you went into the military. First of all, thank you for your service to our our great country, and it is a great country.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure that I respected you enough to say that.
Yeah.
Now, let me know what's happening with you nowadays. Yeah. Like, what are you doing because you're going to be retiring officially.
Yeah, officially retiring.
In about a year or so.
Oh, well, this August.
Oh, this August.
Yeah,
so this is it.
Okay.
Yeah. So what are you going to be doing with your time now?
Well, currently right now, I'm actually the regional director of the Small Business Development Center in Rutgers, Rutgers University in Camden. And so what we do there, we got about 8 centers across the state of New Jersey. And we for short, we call it SBDC. They're all over the country.
Right.
All over the country at multiple, at all universities, whether that be a 4-year or community college. They some of them have them there. And what we do is we help small business owners, whether they are in the process of getting us a small business or already a small business owner. And how we do that, we help them through free counseling. Now, the counseling is free to the client. Wow. And we do that through what I like to call the 3 A's. So let's talk about the 3 A's. So when a client comes in, and when I say client, I'm gonna use a client, small business owner. They're interchangeable. Okay, same thing, same person. But it's a client, it's somebody that we want to help. They're from the community. When we talk about small businesses, let's talk about small businesses real quick. So most people know about the big corporations, the Walmarts, the Targets, the big chain restaurants. But the small businesses are what really drive the community. Right. That is people within the community who said, I got an entrepreneurial spirit. I want to start my own business. But I want to put that business in my community where I grew up in. That's just an example. And I want people to buy whatever I sell from me in my community. That is my way of giving back. Right? So big markets are good. Not going to shame them. Right. But when you got a connection of small businesses in your community that you could buy from and you could put back into your community through the economy, I mean, that's love right there. Absolutely. And so we focus on helping those who, like I said, are future entrepreneurs and like potential. They want to get busy. They want to open up their own business, or those that have been in business for a while. And may not known about the SBDC, right? And
a lot of people have it.
That's right.
And when I heard about what you guys were doing through Senator Troy Singleton,
that's right.
That's where we met, and your entire team was so professional, and everybody knows exactly what they're talking about. Right. And one of the things that I can say to you, and it holds true, you were like, my team will assist you.
Yeah.
We will respond within 24 hours or less.
Yeah.
And if it's more than 24 hours, you are giving out your personal information.
Yes.
And most people who are in positions like you, they don't want to be bothered, like seriously. But you were like, no, I believe in this service that we're bringing to the community at large.
Right.
And so I just want to say thanks, man. I mean, as soon as I met you, we were cool. We started talking. I was texting, and I'm like, this dude's responding. Is he responding because I'm a celebrity, or is he responding because he's keeping his word? But I appreciate that. So with small businesses, tell us about some of the resources that you have for the small businesses.
Yeah, so when it comes to small businesses, there's an array of issues, problems that they may run into. I mean, that's not trying to downplay or how difficult it is to be a small business owner, but there are some challenges. With those challenges, though, us at the SBDC, we want to help get you through those challenges. Right. So we have all different resources and partners that we can connect the small business owner with if we can't handle it. So internally, Brother Marcus, if you talk about the resources internally, our resources come from our consultants. Our consultants have multiple levels and backgrounds, right? We have some that's in finance. We have some that's in marketing. We have some that's in business startups. We have some that is in business plans. So it just depends on what you need or what that small business owner needs. Even if it's internally in my center, I can't help you. There's 7 other centers
that might have different resources.
That's correct. So if you need something that's not in my center, and I'm like, man, and we will let you know. We don't have it here, but hold on. Let me go talk to another regional director and say, do you have said service?
Right.
For an example, I'll use, now we don't have it right now, but I'll use legal service.
Okay.
Right, that's something that we're trying to work on right now. We don't have it right now, but I'm going to use that as an example. If I didn't have it in my center, I could reach out to other centers and say, you got anybody that could come on that could help this client with a legal issue? They're going to tell me yes or no. If they tell me yes, we'll link them up. So we don't See, here's what I like about what we do in SBDC. It's not about our center, like we're the only center in play, right? Because that may not help the small business owner. My consultants, they're great, but they just might not have the expertise. But why, as a client, would I not want to give you the expertise regardless of where they're at?
Exactly, and then regardless where it comes from within that organization,
it doesn't
structure.
Matter. Correct.
So, and that's the cool thing. So now when people, because a lot of people, they get started in business and they don't know, how to get funding, and so let's talk about some of the funding opportunities that you guys can assist people with.
Yeah. So when it comes to funding, if you're we can structure this in two different ways. If you need assistance with your paperwork to get funding, we can do that at SBDC. We have consultants that can walk you through the process. But to actually get funding, whether it's a loan, most of the time we talk about banks. Okay, let's just be real. If you want a loan, this is not the only option, but for a broad stroke, let's just use that as an example. Say a small business owner needs a loan. Let's say somebody, I like to use examples because it's real world stuff that people can relate to, right? So say if somebody has a transportation, they want to run a transportation business, right? Well, transportation business, let's just say you need vehicles, you need trucks to run, whether it's mail or whatever, or packages. Let's say it's a courier business. You're going to need a truck. So to get a truck, unless you got the money that you can pay 20, 30 grand, which is cool. Yeah, you're gonna need a loan from a institution, a financial institution. So what we'll do from the SBDC, we will hook you up. We have relationships with many banks. Inside scoop, not somebody I'm going to phone call a 1-800 number and get a random person. Right. We got people inside the banks that we can communicate with and have relationships with. So we will help if a client is not quite ready. We call it bankable. Right. If a client's not bankable for whatever reason, it could be credit, it could be you don't have the collateral, host of other reasons, right? If you're not there yet, that bank, the relationship we have with the bank, we can go back and forth. That individual, that liaison will say, Akeel, this client wants a loan, they just not ready yet. They need help with their business plan. Send them back to us. My consultant will help that client with the business plan. Oh, okay. So y'all making sure that no one's really going to misrepresent their self or their business. Correct. And y'all going to make sure, look, when you all go, this is what you're going to need. So we have a consultant that will work with you. Now, the consultants, do they cost anything for the small business owners to connect with? Good question. Zero. So to meet with one of our consultants, I use consultant and counselor interchangeable as well. No cost to the client. Wow. It's free service. Wow. So now, and it goes back to what me and you discussed earlier, not knowing. So I'm trying to bring awareness to this resource that's worldwide, not even statewide, but worldwide. It's the same process. Anywhere you go, anywhere you live, you go to SBDC, they're going to tell you the same thing. Here's a counselor, no cost to the client. Wow. Now, let me ask you this, because I know a lot of people listening probably getting excited right now. Is there a number that people can reach out to, or email, or some sort of Facebook or something? Website. Best way to get contact with us at SBDC is the website. Okay. So that's www.rsbdc.org. I'll say it again. www.rsbdc.org. That's my center. You can go on there and log in, and you can put your information on there. Here's the sweet part. If you're from another area, because I cover 4 counties. What counties do you cover? I cover Burlington, Gloucester, Camden, and Salem. Wow. Specifically, I cover them. But if you go onto that website and you may be from somewhere else, we could get you to the right center. So you won't go in there and be like, what I'm supposed to do, because I don't live in any one of those areas. No. You go in there, we'll make sure you get to the site that you need to get to, and you'll get to the center that you need to get to, because again, it's a network. Yeah, and I think that's the most important thing, is knowing that there is a big network of people that can help out the small business person with a new idea or a concept, that they don't have to feel like they're all alone, or paying hundreds of thousands of dollars on a business consultant when the states have these resources for free to get people started. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So what excites you most about being in this position You know what? It's going to sound cliche, but I've been doing this all my life, and that is helping people. The fact that I get to help somebody on an everyday basis, right? Whether it's a small business calling me up, a client who needs help, registering, if there's a client that needs help, that's a returning client, sitting with clients that have been in the system for a while, and they say, you know what, I've been in the system for 3 years, but now I need help with this. I mean, nothing brings joy to me, and my passion comes from being able to help people. When I met you, I was able to present in front of, I don't know, we had about 50.
There was a lot of people there.
Yeah,
There was a lot
50
of people.
people. So knowing that there was some kind of impact made from me providing information for just a resource that's free to them, I mean, you can't beat it. That's what drives me every day, knowing that I'm helping somebody. I used to do it in the military, and it's the same thing. I'm just doing it with different people.
Yeah, and you're in the people business. You want to see people get bigger and better.
Yeah.
Obviously you work out, so you get bigger. You want to see people get bigger and better.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that's the most interesting thing that I really enjoyed about meeting you at the event. And so now you had a lot of folks there saying, you can help them with getting loans, but you can also show people how they can get grants.
Yeah, yes.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up too. So so most people, and here's there's so many. I don't want to call them secrets. It's just things that people don't know.
Secrets.
So
I would say it.
So most clients, small business owners, people in general, when they're trying to start their business, they only think of two avenues to get funding. Mm-hmm. That's loans and grants. So I'm going to talk about more than that, but let me hit with your grant first.
Okay, good.
So for the grant piece, we have a partnership. Mm-hmm. They're called the NJEDA, and they provide grants. Now, here's the thing with the grants. The grants are you have to qualify based on which your small business is. Mm-hmm. And you can do that, and you can qualify, and you can go on the website, and I'll dig that website up for you. And you go on that website, and you can go in there, and you can see what you qualify for.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, first. Mm-hmm. So, because at the end of the day, you want to see whether you wasted your time on that particular grant or not. Not saying that's the only grants around, but that's who we do partnerships with. And so you could go in there and see if you qualify. If you qualify, then what you do is you go back to the SBDC and say, listen, you come back to us. There's a grant I saw online. Mm-hmm. It looks like I qualify. Can you help me with the application? Okay. And we'll walk you through the application and help you. You need to do this. You need to do that. Some people need stages and phases and in order to get finished. Right. If you throw something at them all at one time, they get overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. So what we like to do at the Small Business Development Center, kind of walk you through the process. Mm-hmm. Now, Brother Marcus, at the end of the day, you still got to do the work. Oh yeah. I mean, we're not going to do it all for you. So I want to make that clear.
If that's the case, you might as well run the business yourself.
Correct. I want to make that clear online on this podcast. Yeah. There's still some work that you have to do. But it's not alone. It's not trying to navigate all these intricacies when you don't know what's going on. Right. But we're going to help you with that. Mm-hmm. We're going to help you walk through. We're going to help you with the application. If you run into trouble, listen, I don't know what to do here. Set up another, consultation with your consultant. Yeah. They'll help you through that. Once you get through that and we walk you through the process and you submit your application, then you're waiting for the application to be approved by the NJEDA. And then, depending on what kind of grant you apply for, that would depend on when your grant money gets approved and released to you.
Now listen, folks, y'all need to stop playing small businesses. Y'all need to go to www.rsbdc.org. I'm gonna give it to you one more again, www.rsbcd.org. And Mr. Akeel is with us today as we are talking about how you can get your business situated and how you can get some funding, whether it be grants or whether it would be funding or getting a loan from a bank. And so they have a lot of great people that are willing to work and connect to make this all come to fruition. And I'm just glad that, you even have the time to even stop by to talk with us, because I know that you have a very busy schedule. You're making, you're at conferences, events, and meetings, and making sure that your team and staff in the areas in which you cover, Burlington, Gloucester County, Camden County, and Salem County, that's a huge area to cover.
It is.
That's like half of Jersey.
Yeah. I mean, and some of these, especially like Burlington, man, that county's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not like, and when it comes to covering these counties, all counties and all cities within those counties are different.
Yeah.
So my challenge when I'm going out there is making sure the message is getting spread to the right audience the right way. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, that takes some time. That takes some wisdom on how to navigate and maneuver through that. But at the end of the day, like I said, if I could get a hold of a small business in some kind of way, and I think, again, I'll repeat this more than once because I think it's worth repeating. It's the awareness.
Yeah. That
this stuff is out there. I met a small business owner probably a couple weeks ago. Now I knew her because she runs a karate class for my son.
Okay.
A karate studio for my son. Excuse me.
Can he fight? No, I'm just kidding. No, we ain't gonna put her on the spot.
Yeah. So she's been. I say she's been in business about 10 years, easy. And I explained to her. I said, "Listen, I'm part of SBDC now. SBDC. If you need some help," she said, "What's that?" So see, you've been in business for 10 years
and don't even know.
Had no idea what I was talking about.
Wow,
no clue.
And so now you're in a position to, to really help people and say, well, what do you need?
Right.
What can we do to help you?
Yes.
These resources are here.
Yep.
And I hope she jumped on some of this stuff.
Yeah. I hope so too. And when we have a client come to us, man, the worst thing we can do is try to answer all of their questions, even though we don't have the correct answers. My team is not doing that. Yeah. We're going to refer you out to the professional that does have that experience.
And it's so funny to me because, like, when I met you, like, my people, my team, they're going to answer you and, quickly, whatever. And it seems like you have the military sergeant at arms mindset. Not like you're a dictator. I don't get that from you. But I do get that you're like, come on, listen, we serve the people. You have that mentality of, that Army mentality. There's nothing wrong with that. No. It's disciplined and focused and, always about the people.
Yeah.
And that's what I noticed when we were at that event with Senator Singleton. You were really about the people. You were like, I don't need no microphone. I want to talk to the people. Yeah. And I was just watching you, and I was sitting with another guy. I was like, look at this dude. You wanted to be with the people. Yeah. You didn't care for the podium and the microphone and all of the glitz and the glamour that brought.
Right.
You were more like, can I come out there and talk to y'all?
Yeah.
Can I show y'all how I can help y'all? Yeah. So that's what we appreciate that.
Yeah, some people talk and other people actually execute.
And you execute.
Some people say they want to help the people, but then you don't see them around. And then, you got to be amongst the people. Mm-hmm. That's where you need to be. If you're not amongst the people, you don't know what they need. You don't know how to. It's all about audience too. You got to know who you're talking to. Mm-hmm. And some people don't want to see you behind no podium talking to them because it seems like you're talking at them.
Right.
That's not their environment all the time.
And it was funny because, again, not knocking anybody who was up there speaking, but out of all the people that were up there, you were up there the shortest.
Yeah.
You were just like, look, we're here to help you, this, that, the other thing. If you need me, call me. Here's my number.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you stepped off and said, listen, I'm right over here. People are right here to help you. I love y'all. I love y'all, America.
Yeah. Because, first of all, we brought small business owners out there. Mm-hmm. They took their time out of running their small business to be at that venue. Mm-hmm. So I recognize that, and also recognize it was good for them to hear us, but they want to be at the tables, the resource tables.
Exactly.
That they can meet all these different people that they can say, wow, I didn't know all this existed. So if I'm up there an hour talking, I'm taking away from what they really came for.
Connections.
Yeah, so that's what it was about.
And the other thing I want to talk to you about is how some people, like if some of the resources that you guys have for small businesses, those who have small businesses, they can recoup money back from the equipment and things that they bought for their spaces. Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
I don't know what that program is called.
That came through the NGEDA too. That's a form of a grant.
Oh,
yeah. That's a form of a grant. So some of these grants that they offer are reimbursable, meaning you put the money out, you spend the money already, but they'll cut you a check to reimburse you from what you spent. So you gotta have receipts and all that. So that's where that came in. So if you fall within that that grant and you apply for it and you're approved, that would. But you again, you got to be eligible.
Right.
You're eligible for that. Then what you'll do is you'll go back. Hopefully you got all your receipts from what you purchased, you know, whether it was equipment or whatever for running your small business. If you got all that, the process goes, you submit your receipts back to the NGEDA. You make sure that they'll overlook your application plus your receipts. If you're approved for it, then they'll cut your check for whatever that amount that was to be reimbursed. So you already spent the money.
Yeah.
You're just getting it back.
You're just getting it back. So remember, keep your receipts, good record keeping, get yourself an accountant, somebody that can mind your business, really mind your business. And so there's so much that you guys have to offer. Again, we're speaking with Mr. Akeel, who is working with
SBDC.
And that's right. And the way that you can get the resources for small businesses, people that are starting up their business, is go to www.rsbdc.org. And we're going to give it to you again.
Yeah. Again, www.rsbdc.org.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Go on there and listen, self-explanatory. Ask you for your email address to take you right into the application process, right into the system. You put your information in there. I get actually everybody that goes into that system, I get an email immediately knowing you were in there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
so
I get the email automatically.
See, that's what I'm talking about. So you're always, and this is always about you knowing what you're doing, and you're trying to serve the people, and you can't serve the people if the people don't want to be a part of the process.
That's right.
And so if they're a part of the process, you're going to serve the people. And one thing I noticed about you that day, although you have a plethora of resources, you weren't pushing this on them. You were like, I know y'all hungry. The food is right there.
That's right there.
It's right there, but I can't spoon feed it to you. It's right there.
Yeah.
Yours for the taking.
Yeah.
So you're not pushy about it. You're more like, don't miss these opportunities.
That's it. That's it. And it's, like I said, you can't, most people, they're okay with free resources. I mean, if you're starting a small business and you may not have the capital, currently you may not have the money in your bank account, and you can't afford to go out there and pay a consultant $150 an hour, we give it to you for free. You just got to follow through once we do that, because again, I want to make sure that the people understand when I say we're going to help you and assist you, we are. That's not the same thing as we're going to do all the work for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just want to make that clear.
Because a lot of people might get that misunderstanding, and that's not what you're doing.
No.
You're just trying to say, look, we're here to help you. If you want the help, come hither.
That's right. Come hither. And we will definitely take the time to sit down with you, and we will assess where you're at. That's another thing. We'll meet the small business where they're at. If you're not trying to go to level 10 and you ain't trying to go to level 4, well, that's what we're going to work on, right? We're going to meet you where you're at. You may not be ready to get financing. You may not be ready. You might need marketing. You might need a website, because you can't assume all these small businesses. I asked the question, you got a website? They look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, you got to have a website.
You got to have something.
That's how it is now. Like, you got to have a website. So, but if you don't have all that, it's not to be ashamed. It's for you to come to the table and say, listen, I want to get here. I don't have this. Or maybe it's like, let me just have a conversation. Let me see if I want to pursue it.
Yeah.
Because once you get the information, you can be like, man, I'm not ready for that right now. It just may be too much overwhelming. Or we could cut it in pieces. You may not be ready for this piece, but do you got an LLC? No, I don't have an LLC. Let's get you an LLC.
And then we can start from there.
So that's,
get your business right, y'all. We're going to get our business right. And we're going to keep Mr. Akeel close to us, because he's definitely representing small businesses and businesses in general, especially in the 4 areas: Gloucester County, Burlington County, Camden County, Salem County. www.rsbdc.org. Get involved, everybody. You want to give any shout outs or any last minute words? Because I know you got a tight schedule. Plus, I'm going to try to meet with you after the podcast.
Of course. Yeah, just a shout out to just the SBDC community, the whole network. Like I said, we range from Newark all the way down to Camden. It got some wonderful regional directors that'll help you in any area you want. Just like me, they just they all over the state. So big shout out to all the regional directors of the SBDC in New Jersey. My CEO Kelly, wonderful.
Thank you, Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly, she gets it done. She's the CEO. She's in charge of all the regional directors. Everybody got a boss. Unless you're a small business owner, then you get your own boss. But currently, I got a boss. She's wonderful. She makes sure that, we're out here grinding and making sure we're meeting the people and their needs at the lowest level. So,
and you're
outstanding
definitely doing
team.
it, man. You're definitely doing it, man.
Outstanding team.
Like you stay, that's one thing I can say about you. You stay busy. And when I call you, you respond. You're like, hey, man, I'm in a meeting or I got something going on, but I will call you. I will text you. I will get in touch with you. And you have always kept your word. So I just want to, tip my hat off to you and just say thanks for being a man of your word.
Yeah.
We're grateful that you're here. Yeah. Everybody, we are speaking with Mr. Akeel. And he is not playing when it comes to your business, getting situated and getting together. And if you want to be connected, all you got to do is go to
www.rsbdc.org.
And they're going to take care of you.
Take good care of you.
Real talk, true story. Yeah. As always, everybody, we give you the best inspirational interviews on this side of the globe. And remember to stay connected. Mr. Akeel is in the building. He's going to continue to do what he's doing at www.rsbdc.org. Small businesses gather around, get involved. There's funding, there's grants, and there's all these type of consultants that will help you. And if you do the right thing, you'll notice that everything is for free. So take advantage of it. We'll be right back with more inspirational podcasts. As I say on the radio, don't touch that dial. But on this case, I'll tell you, don't touch that podcast. It's your brother talking. We'll be right back with more of the Elements of Inspiration podcast.